Today we're on page 5 of the Chapter 12 notes packet. We're moving on to another set of formulas. All right. Functions of the double angle and the half angle formulas. And today we're just going to focus on the double angle formulas. So anything that deals with half angles we'll save for tomorrow. All right, so we have functions of the double angle. And this is here on the printed page of your notes packet. And it's also, if I bring in the reference sheet, okay, here it's on the right-hand side of our reference sheet, functions of the double angle. So we have the sine of 2a, the cosine of 2a, there's 3 different formulas to choose from for that, and the tangent of 2a. So our steps are to find and choose the correct or best formula to use, make substitutions into the formula, and evaluate. Sometimes we'll have to find some missing trig values by drawing and referring to a right triangle. So for the first one, number 1, we have the sine of A is equal to 12/13, and A is a measure of an angle in quadrant 2. Find the value of, we want to find the value of the sine of 2A, the cosine of 2a, and then the tangent of 2a. And the cosine of a half angle, the half angle A, we'll save for tomorrow. All right, so the sine of our angle A is 12/13, and angle A is a measure in quadrant 2. So angle A is in quadrant 2. We've been working with some of these Pythagorean triples for a while, so you may just recognize this as being, if the sine of A is positive 12/13 and we're in quadrant 2, then the cosine of A is going to equal negative 5/13. And the tangent would be opposite 12 over adjacent 5. The tangent of A would equal negative 12/5. So if you realize that, then it's not necessary to actually draw the triangle. All right, but if you don't, here we go. In quadrant 2, angle A, sine is 12/13, so opposite over hypotenuse, so that means our adjacent side is negative 5. Okay, the sine of 2a, well, there's only one formula. The sine of 2a is equal to 2 sine A cosine A. So this is equal to 2 sine A cosine A. And we just, it's equal to 2 sine A cosine A. So now we just plug in our values. So this is 2 times the sine of A, which is 12/13, times the cosine of A, which is negative 5/13. And multiply. That's a 2 over 1. Multiply the numerators. 2 times 5 is 10, times 12 is 120, so that'd be a negative 120 over 1 times 13 is 169. Now the cosine of 2a, well, there's 3 different formulas we can choose from for the cosine of a double angle, okay? The first one involves cosine and sine. It's cosine squared A minus sine squared A. The second one just involves cosine. And the third one involves sine. Since we were given what the sine of A was, 12/13, that's the one I would choose to use, okay? Because what if I made a mistake in finding the cosine of angle A? We were given the sine of A, so I'm going to use the third one out of these 3. So the cosine of 2a is going to equal 1 minus 2 sine squared A. Okay, so this is 1 minus 2 times the sine of A squared. All right, sine squared A is the same as sine A squared. This is 1 minus 2 times the sine of A was 12/13. Square that. That's 144 over 69. So that's 1 minus 2 times 144 over 169. 1 minus 2 times 144 is 288. 1 minus 288 over 169. All right, so this would actually equal 169 over 169. Subtract 288 over 169. That's going to be negative 119 over 169. And if you need to, yes, it would be okay to go to the calculator and take 1 minus 288 over 169. Negative 119 over 169. Next, for C, we want the tangent of 2a. All right, there's only one formula for that. Tan 2a equals 2 times the tangent of a divided by 1 minus tangent squared a. Okay, so this is equal to 2 tan a divided by 1 minus tangent squared a. And the tangent of a is the negative 12 fifths, so this is 2 times negative 12 fifths divided by 1 minus negative 12 fifths squared. All right, this is negative 24 fifths, all divided by, this is going to be 144 25ths. This is negative 24 fifths. Let's see, 25 over 25, because that's equivalent to 1, minus 144 25ths is negative 119 25ths. And if we think about multiplying by, this is a complex fraction, if we multiply by 25 over 25, we'll end up with, this will reduce, 5 times negative 24 is negative 120. No, it's, yeah, negative 120 over the 25s divide out, negative 119. So a negative divided by negative is positive. So we have positive 120 over 119. Next, number 2, the sine of x equals 4 fifths, and x is the measure of a positive acute angle. Find the value of sine of 2x and cosine of 2x. All right, so it's positive, so that means we're in quadrant 1, right? Positive acute angle. If the sine of x is 4 fifths, what's the cosine of x? This is going to be a 3, 4, 5 Pythagorean triple, so the cosine would be 3 fifths. If you're not comfortable with that, then just draw the right triangle in quadrant 1 and use the Pythagorean theorem. The adjacent side would have a length of 3. Okay, sine of 2x. Plug into the formula, 2 sine x, cosine x. So sine of 2x is going to equal 2 sine x, cosine x. So 2 times the sine of x is 4 fifths, and the cosine of x is 3 fifths. 2 times 4 is 8, times 3 is 24, so 24 25ths. Short and simple. Cosine of 2x, again, we were given the sine of x, all right? So I would use the one that involves sine, this one. So 1 minus 2 sine squared x. All right, so this would be 1 minus 2 times, sine was 4 fifths, we square that. 4 fifths squared is 16 25ths. Times 2 is 32. 25 25ths minus 32 25ths is equivalent to negative 7/25. Continuing on to the next page, again, we're saving the half angles for tomorrow. If the sine of A equals negative 0.8, what is the value of cosine of 2A? Okay, well, we want the cosine of 2A. If I'm given the sine of A, again, I'm going to use this formula, the one that involves sine. So it's 1 minus 2 sine squared A. So it's going to equal 1 minus 2 sine squared A. So 1 minus 2 times negative 0.8 squared. All right, I'll break out the calculator for this. 1 minus 2 times negative 0.8 squared. Negative 0.28. Number 4, cosine of A is negative 8/17, and A is a measure of an angle in quadrant 3. Find the value of cosine of 2A. All right, I want the cosine of 2A. I know that the cosine of A is negative 8/17. So out of the 3 formulas for cosine of 2A, I'll choose the one that only involves cosine. Right, I'll choose the second one. So I don't have to calculate, figure out what the sine of angle A is. So cosine of 2A equals 2 cosine squared A minus 1. So this equals 2 cosine squared A minus 1. So this would be 2 times negative 8/17 squared, subtract 1. Now negative 8 squared, that's 64. 17 squared is 289. Multiply that by 2. 2 times 64 is 128, so that's 128 over 289 minus 1 in the form of 289 over 289. That's going to equal negative 161 over 289. Number 5 are all half angle questions, so that we'll save that for tomorrow. Let's go on to number 6. If cosine of theta equals 0.6, that's a negative 0.6, and theta is a measure of an angle in quadrant 2, find, all right, sine of 2 theta, cosine 2 theta, and tangent 2 theta. And by all means, you are welcome to stop the video, pause the video, and try these on your own. We are in quadrant 2. There's our theta in quadrant 2. And cosine's negative 0.6, so that's negative 6/10, right? So if we want, we can put negative 6, hypotenuse 10. The opposite side would be, this is a 6, 8, 10, would be 8. So we can remain in decimals, which I think I might do, okay? So the sine of theta is equal to 0.8. It's a positive value. So the sine of 2 theta, only the one formula for that, 2 sine theta cosine theta is equal to 2 sine theta cosine theta. So 2 times 0.8 times negative 0.6. Use the calculator. 2 times 0.8 times negative 0.6. Negative 0.96. Cosine of 2 theta. since I was given cosine, all right, I'll use the one that it just involves cosine, which is this one, the second one, 2 cosine squared theta minus 1. So this is going to equal 2 cosine squared theta minus 1. So 2 times negative 0.6 squared, subtract 1. Bet you're happy we're away from fractions. 2 times negative 0.6 squared minus 1, negative 0.28. And for the tangent of theta, instead of calculating what the tangent of theta is and using the formula, since we already have sine and cosine, okay, let's just say that tangent of 2 theta is going to equal sine of 2 theta over cosine 2 theta. So negative 0.96 divided by negative 0.28. Well, there they are on my calculator. Negative 0.96 divided by negative 0.28. Didn't work out so nicely. Let's try the math bracket. 24/7. That looks better. Okay, and finishing up with number 7. It says the expression sine x minus cosine x squared is equivalent to, well, we don't have a formula here, so what do we do? Well, if we had x minus y squared, we would FOIL that, right? So let's FOIL this. Let's FOIL this. Sine x minus cosine x times sine x minus cosine x. All right. First term, sine x times sine x is sine squared x. Outside, sine x times negative cosine x would be negative sine x cosine x. Inside, negative cosine times sine is negative sine x cosine x. And the last, negative cosine x times negative cosine x is positive cosine squared x. Okay, combine like terms. These are like terms. So we have, and I'm going to put sine squared x plus cosine squared x right after it, because you should recognize that as being equivalent to something, minus 2 sine x cosine x. Right? Adding, combining those are like terms. That's negative 1 would be negative 2 sine x cosine x. Now sine squared x plus cosine x is equivalent to 1. So this would equal 1 minus 2 sine x cosine x. But that choice isn't there. All right, but what about this? 2 sine x cosine x. What is that equivalent to? That's equivalent to 2 sine 2x. So this here is equivalent to 2 sine, sine 2x. ran out of room. So we have 1 minus sine 2x. And that matches choice D. And this concludes our video for today. Thank you.